Barkley. This is Bob Neal and Chuck Daly from the Summit in Houston. And after the disappointments in Philly and Phoenix, Charles now steps into the very critical semifinals of the Western Conference, Seattle and Houston. The Houston Rockets, in a lot of people's mind, are a team that could go all the way, as Ernie just finished telling you. However, the Seattle Sonics have been the nemesis of Houston in the playoffs. They've met 5 times. The Sonics have won every series they've met in the playoffs. However, this year, in the regular season, Houston beat Seattle 3-1. So, Chuck Daly, my question to you is, what is different about this Houston team that makes them think they can get past Seattle?
Bob, there's a lot different. There's 9 new faces on the roster, and I think significantly you have Charles Barkley, who is the guy in the middle. Take a look at these stats on this graphic. We have 50 points and about 30 rebounds, and Charles can do it all. He can hit threes, he can post up, and he's been a strong rebounder, taking a role that he hasn't had in the past.
And Rudy Tomjanovich very happy with his 8-man rotation to go along with this. Now, Seattle, the big question coming into the playoffs after they faded a bit toward the end, even though they won 57 games, was, what's the funk with Shawn Kemp? And the answer in the first round series of the playoff is, I don't see a funk.
Nor do I. Shawn Kemp has been outstanding in that first series, and all you have to do is look at the numbers: 22 points, 14 rebounders, which is the leading rebounder in the NBA, and shooting 82% and getting to the line, more importantly, 10 times again. Very significant player.
Yeah, a lot of people think this could be the most competitive of the semifinal series in the East or the West. We'll find out. Game 1 about to get started at the Summit in Houston. After this commercial timeout, we'll join Ernie Johnson Jr. and Cheryl Miller in our studios in Atlanta.
The first round is in the books, and the playoff field has been cut in half. Game 1 of the Seattle-Houston best-of-7 is coming up, and that's just the start of another big playoff week on TNT. Tomorrow night, Game 1, Michael and the Bulls host the Hawks, followed by Game 2 between the Lakers and Jazz. On Wednesday, the Knicks and Heat open their best-of-7. The Sonics and Rockets play Game 2. Thursday, Game 2 between the Hawks and Bulls, followed by Game 3 of the Lakers and Jazz. And on Friday, the Knicks and Heat play Game 2 with a Houston-Seattle nightcap. Welcome to our Atlanta studio. Ernie Johnson along with Cheryl Miller, joined tonight by the runner-up in the Rookie of the Year balloting, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Stephon Marbury. Steph, it's great to have you with us tonight.
Thanks,
nice going, getting into playoffs, too. Houston, a little too much, though. What did you see in their eyes that said the train's coming through here?
I mean, Charles Barkley, he's just playing like he's destined to win the championship. Olajuwon, I can't say too much about them guys. They just really want it really bad.
With those big 3, when they're all healthy, that's a scary team.
Well, I think if you're Seattle, coming into tonight's game, you got to force the tempo, make sure you're running the ball, limit Houston's shots to 1, and if you're Matt Maloney, you're worried about the glove. There's going to be the clampdown tonight.
The 2 highest-scoring teams in the playoffs right now, ready to go at it. We'll be back at halftime with details on Larry Brown's latest move. He's the Sixers' new head coach. But straight ahead, it's Game 1 in the best-of-7 between Shawn Kemp and the Sonics, Charles Barkley and the Rockets, and Akeem get next to it.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of relentless pursuit of perfection. By Armor All Protectant, it keeps your car looking new every time you wash it. And by AT&T, it's all within your reach.
Welcome back to Houston, Texas. Side of the Western Conference semifinals. The first 2 games will be played here at the Summit between the Seattle Sonics and the Houston Rockets. The Sonics, 57 wins in the regular season. They got to this second round by going 3-2 against Phoenix. Payton and Hawkins. Hawkins and Shrimp both really stepped up big. Everybody expected Payton and Kemp to play well. And Cummings, once again, will start in the middle. For the Houston Rockets, their only regular under 33 years old is the rookie, Matt Maloney, to go with Drexler, Ellie, Olajuwon, and Charles Barkley. And this is a team of veterans against maybe a younger rested team, Reggie Theus.
Well, Bob, we might have to sum this first game up as rest versus no rest. After the Rockets ended their first round series with Minnesota in 3, they've been spending their time with Rudy T video sessions and with the staff masseuse and chiropractor. You know, with 8 guys 33 years or older, rest could be the big thing early in this second round. Now for the Seattle Supersonics, the pace has been a lot more difficult. Finishing a 5-game series with the Phoenix Suns, a quick video session on the Rockets, and then a shoot-around this morning. Boy, I tell you what, life's been tough, and Hershey Hawkins said that it's like cramming for a midterm test. Well, they brought along their own locker room setup with balloons, balls, everything you can think of, and it's been a lot of fun in hopes, maybe, that they can go back to the championship. Bob, Dick, back to you.
Thanks, Reggie, and you might call it Seattle, Texas. So along with Chuck Daly, Bob Neal is ready to get underway. Keem Olajuwon and Sean Kemp will jump it at center. The only 5 times these two teams have played in the playoffs, the Sonics eliminated Houston. The 2 title years, the Sonics were defeated in earlier rounds, and Houston did not have to go through Seattle. Here is Matt Maloney to Olajuwon. 8 on the shot clock. Spin move inside. Olajuwon easily beat Cummings, but then missed the grip shot.
Houston Rockets and Rudy Tomjanovich want to find out how they're playing Olajuwon. Straight up or going to double him, and they got some idea right there.
A quick 3-point attempt from Hersey Hawkins. And a rundown by Terry Cummings. Olajuwon left him alone, and Terry, if Olajuwon had seen the first series, hits those shots with regularity. The 12-year veteran, Terry Cummings.
Seattle, with a long 5-game series, they're a team that are in a rhythm of regular season, and it may pay off tonight. A lot of people don't like the fact they didn't get the rest. We'll see.
Mario Elie knocks down the 3. Mario was 8 of 12 for threes in that 3-game first-round series against Minnesota. He and Drexler and Maloney will have a lot of opportunities on the perimeter. Turnaround jumper for Kemp misses. Rebound Olajuwon to the rookie from Penn. Matt Maloney, Mario Elie looking to post up Barkley, lob over the front. Charles has to get it out of there. Clyde Drexler. 2 threes in a row.
Houston Rockets in their system going inside, outside. They've got Elie and Maloney simply drilling threes, and they're in position. It's going to be very tough to cover all of these people.
The Rockets made 35 three-pointers in that 3-game series against Minnesota. Coming. Being defended by Olajuwon. Beats him to the hoop, so he got the face-up jumper, and now the drive pass Akeem, and the Rockets lead it 6-4 on the 2 threes with 10 minutes to go in the first period.
I sense we'll see McIlvain, who didn't play at all except in blowout time in the last series. But here we'll see some because of that particular reason. Cummings can't handle Olajuwon on the other end defensively.
Houston 8-4, 9:44 to go in the first. Here is Shrimp. Fouled as he spins into the lane. Olajuwon and Drexler were covering him. They're going to give the foul to Akeem.
Here's the pillar of offensive society in the way classic NBA is played today. Him working, and he loves that move, faking you on the baseline, coming around. A premier offensive player in every way.
And the first personal of the game goes to Akeem as Detlef Shrimp steps to the free throw line. Shrimp in the playoffs is shooting free throws at 87%.
Detlef took a little time to get warmed up in the previous series. Thought he played tremendous over the last 3 games. Came off the late season injury, didn't get a lot of playing time. I think needed some adjustment. Probably the series was good for him in terms of confidence.
8-6 Rockets. Matt Maloney, rookie from Penn, played all 82 games, started all 82 games. Barkley, danger is on the low post. Kemp got a piece of that from behind. Barkley took it up again, wanted to foul, didn't get it. Loose ball out of bounds, belongs to the Sonics.
Detlef Shrimp trying to run it down. Maloney and them grabbing each other to try to keep one from the other getting out. Maloney gets the foul call.
That's his first. Maloney is matched up defensively against Hersey Hawkins. Elie is playing Peyton. He pulls up and knocks down the easy 3. Well, everywhere we've been in the playoffs out west, we've had rain. And it's raining here. Threes.
Raining threes so far.
Maloney splits the double team all the way down the middle and then loses the ball out of bounds off his feet.
That's where they think they might create some problems defensively by double teaming Maloney. See if he can handle the ball against that kind of pressure.
Cummings left alone. Rebound by Drexler.
One of the areas of concern for Houston has to be their transition defense.
Drexler misses from long range. These are the top 2 point-scoring teams in the playoffs. Seattle averaging 112, and Houston 111. Shrimp posted up against the shorter Drexler. 9 on the shot clock for Cummings. Sean Kemp likes that shot. That's a 2.
All of a sudden during the regular season, he wasn't even taking the outside shot, living on the box, and all of a sudden he's starting to nail threes in the playoffs and doing it very successfully.
Sonics have scored 11 straight points, which gets a timeout call from Rudy Tomjanovich. 11-8 Rockets.
You know, our philosophy is that, you know, we want to pressure this team as much as possible. And, you know, if we can pressure Maloney with me and David and maybe Eric Snow and Greg Graham, you know, 3/4 court, maybe pick them up at half court, sometimes full court, that it sort of takes them out of their offense and, you know, that they'll run it smoothly. And we can have Gary up pressuring, you know, full court and them, you know, producing on the offensive end. So we'll take our turns on Maloney.
Here's the perfect example of it. 3 guys surrounding him, and then Maloney gets through it. Then Detlef Schrempf, the last guy, gets his hand on the ball and forces the turnover. Maloney had 17 points a game, field goal percentage 57%. How about 57 from threes? Deadly in their attack. They have a deadly, methodical attack, and he is perfect for it.
On the average, Maloney is 4 out of 7 on threes per game in the playoffs. Down low, Olajuwon against Cummings. 10 on the shot clock. Ellie. Shot clock to 6. 4. Hakeem.
So far, all the way down in the shot clock, having his own way. One of the best shooters in all of basketball. Great touch for a big guy. Really shoots like any of the best shooters in the game.
Detlef Schrempf. Too long. Rebound Olajuwon. That Olajuwon basket stopped a consecutive string of 7 straight points from Houston. Drexler gets it from Maloney and then to Olajuwon for the lay-in. You'll see that a lot. Drexler is the leading assist man on the Houston Rockets for the playoffs at 8 a game. Cummings gives the lead back to the Sonics. 13-12, 7:20 to go first period.
Well, the Sonics living on the outside shot, and you can't expect that to happen all night long. They've shot well. They're not getting a lot of pressure, not getting hands up. The difference is Drexler, Olajuwon are killing them in the paint.
A lot of open looks inside. 14-13 Houston. 5 lead changes already. There's an open shot, as open as it gets inside for Sean Kemp.
Well, he was not double-teamed, and they've elected, at least on that play, to play him straight up. And he can have his own way in the lane if they're going to throw it out. That's what they'll find out.
Olajuwon back out to Maloney, who knocks down a 3. This team, Houston, averaged 35 three-pointers, or they totaled 35 three-pointers against Minnesota in that 3-game series. And already tonight, 6 threes, 3 of 4 for Houston, 1 of 2 for Seattle. That's Seattle's third. They're 1 out of 3 now. Barkley with the rebound. Rockets by 2. Drexler defended by Schrempf. Sweet music from Clyde to Clyde.
Houston has great legs, a lot of confidence in their shot. Did not practice well Saturday, but playing great tonight thus far.
Look at the defense from Olajuwon. You know how quick Kemp is. Olajuwon's lightning fast hands knocks the ball loose, and the personal foul will be called on Sean Kemp. This is a star-filled series. Olajuwon, Barkley, Drexler, Kemp, Payton, just to name a few All-Stars.
And we talked about the rebounds. Barkley and Olajuwon together 20 per game in the opening series, and they're first in assists in the playoffs, first in defensive rebounding, second in points per game, playing great basketball.
Drexler in the paint. Somebody got a piece of that. Maybe Cummings or Schrempf. Good Houston transition defense. Rockets by 4. Until then, Houston had hit their last 5 shots, and now Sean Kemp just inside the line for a 2. It is 19-17 Houston, and Sean has 6 points to go with 6 from Cummings. Drexler leads all scorers with 7 points.
Well, Seattle coming off the previous series against Phoenix will be a little more comfortable in terms of energy because they don't have to work as hard.
Akeem 4 out of 5. He spins into the double team away from it on the baseline and hits that patented jumper. Front down the middle. Way out in front, Ellie. Good lead pass. Reverse. Ellie with his own rebound. He'll take it right back up and inside. He's a strong forward. He's only 6'5". He's a strong small forward.
11 points a game regular season. 89% free throw shooter.
Akeem got there too late to block that shot.
And this is turning out to be very much an offensive game, at least in the first quarter, with only about 8 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's the West, all right. 23-19 Rockets, 4:31 to go in the first period. Open man Drexler from Barkley. Cummings with a rebound. We expect to see a little bit more of the $35 million center Jim McIlvaine in this game, but Cummings played so well against Phoenix they left him in the starting lineup. Kemp misses from the perimeter. Rarely, most of the time, coaches don't like their big man doing that, but George Karl likes for Sean Kemp to take a few.
Well, I'm not sure about that. There wasn't anyone in green within 15 feet. The offensive rebound, the miss. They've got to get somebody else inside when he takes that shot.
Drexler, Ellie on the drive. And the foul's going to be on Detlef Schrempf. That's his first. Here's Sam Perkins coming into the game. Sam started very slowly against Phoenix, but came on very strong in games 4 and 5 with 29 minutes, 15 points, and 52% shooting. The numbers you see there are his totals in the first round. They were diminished by games 1, 2, and 3.
Well, regular season, and he's a long-range three-point shooter, but he does give him size, gives him a little post-up, can give him a little shot blocking and rebounding.
Charles Barkley gets it from Drexler and lays it in from deep. David Wingate, number 25, also on the floor, off the bench for Seattle. Posted very low is Sean Kemp. They're going to call Akeem Olajuwon, and that'll be his second personal with 3:33 to go in the first period.
A significant foul, and we're going to see Kevin Willis, who not anyone has talked about, at least we didn't in the open. And Kevin Willis has averaged 11 points a game. A terrific rebounder, 7-point find, has really helped bail his club out with Charles Barkley only playing 53 games.
We're talking about the hot shooting. Look at that.
Seattle 53, Houston 60. It's been a very pretty game thus far. Great execution and great shooting.
25-19 Rockets. Kemp quick on the baseline past Kevin Willis, who will pick up the foul just that quickly. In the playoffs, Willis averaging 9.7 points and 6.3 rebounds a game. He signed as a free agent. Two other great signings in late April and early March for the Houston Rockets really helped, and Eddie Johnson and Sadale Threaton. We'll see both of them in this game also. It's not the same Houston team that has struggled with the Sonics in the playoffs previously. 9 on the shot clock for Wingate's 3. Brick. Perkins. Payton. Tipped out of bounds by Clyde Drexler. 19 on the clock. 2:58 to go in the first period.
Second shot, Perkins, and they need that if they're going to continue to shoot outside.
George Karl gets a timeout. His team trailing by 6. Akeem Olajuwon already 8 points in this game.
There's a defensive rebound. Watch this spin. Fake. Come on back. Who's got that move? Stability in a franchise. This is the reason why. No changing of coaches here. Jump shot. How about this? Fade away. Although he's picked up 2 free throws. And in that timeout, Rudy T never entered the huddle. There's nothing to be said when you're playing that well.
4 out of 5 from the floor, 2 rebounds, and as Chuck told you, 2 fouls already for Akeem, so he will sit down, or has sat down, and Kevin Willis is on the floor. The rest of the starters are still out there for Houston. For Seattle, Sam Perkins and David Wingate have come onto the floor. David Wingate, interesting story. Of course, you know him from Georgetown in '86 on the national championship team. The man, the heart and soul of the Sonics team, according to George Karl and a lot of the veterans, is Nate McMillan. But his playing days may be close to over. His knee is virtually gone. He's only here to be used late as an inbounder. And George Karl said the job for David Wingate in this series was to be Nate McMillan.
Got the ball in bounds late in the game.
Perkins. Schrempf with 9 on the clock. Well, Nate a.k.a. David Wingate, traveled, turned it over.
Got a little excited getting to the basket, so often players will do that. And Houston working on 8 assists already, 3 by Drexler, who leads their club.
25-19, 2.5 minutes to go, first period from the Summit. Slowed down a little bit, been an offensive show so far. Matt Maloney, the rookie, drives and kicks. Ellie, 3.
Deadly, 42% from three-point line. Maloney, 40 during the course of the year.
9-point lead. Houston, 4 out of 6 from 3. Perkins rattles it in and out. Rebound Drexler, and a potential for a double-digit lead early here for the Houston Rockets.
I sense the Sonics are going to have to get more frantic defensively. If you're going to let the Houston Rockets methodically move the ball, post you up and take threes, you're in trouble.
Well, the glove with the steal goes all the way and draws the foul committed by Matt Maloney, and he is now fouled twice, and we're going to get an early entrance into the game by Sadale Threet to replace Matt Maloney, who has 2 personal fouls. Reggie Theus, what do you have for us?
Well, Gary Payton, the leader that he is on the floor, came out of that timeout talking to Wingate, said, listen, we got to play with our heads in this game. We don't have the legs to shoot all those long shots. Bring it in a couple of steps until you get your fill. Bob?
Thanks, Reggie.
Sounds like he has a coaching future, and coaching salaries have gone up based on the signing of Larry Brown today.
You would notice that. Greg Graham.
Wally Walker of Seattle came over to me and says, do you really think it's true what I heard today? I said, you got a bargain over there sitting on the bench.
No kidding. You hear the terms $5, $6, $7 million thrown around? Some of these coaching changes in the NBA. 28-21 Rockets. Minute 49 to go first period. That may interest me at that kind of salary.
You would take a cut.
Is it because I'd love to coach so much? Here is Sadale Threet. Free agent signed in March. Ellie with 5 on the shot clock. Foul before the turnover. And it's on Greg Graham. Greg Graham, the youngster out of the University of Indiana, may get increased playing time in this series simply because he is so quick to the ball. He's 6'5", and he runs out on the three-point shooters very quickly. It's one of the reasons Craig Elo was left off this Seattle playoff roster.
On the previous foul, though, the clock was at 6. He's got to know that and get to his man, not let him take him off the dribble, commit the foul, give him another opportunity.
Here's Graham. Whoa. Barkley or Ellie rejected it. Sean Kemp lost it, controlled it, and jammed it, and has 8. Now they're going to call him. The violation comes for hanging on the rim. So it's a technical.
An unusual call, rarely called. Let's see. Graham goes in, gets blocked. Kemp works hard, gets it blocked once, gets it back, goes up and hangs. Not much longer than a lot others I've seen in the playoffs and during the course of the year. Good idea, though, to let it go. Don't get Steve Javie upset.
Minute 9 to go in the period. Rockets 29, Sonics 23. Sonics with some extended pressure. Easily across midcourt from Kevin Willis. They don't want the ball in his hands very much out there. Drexler. This is on the baseline. Wingate gets the rebound out to Greg Graham.
Drexler is so potent on that post-up, and one of the reasons he leads his club in assists because he gets a lot of double teams on that isolation, which he did for years in Portland.
How about the nice pass from Sam Perkins to Greg Graham for the lay-in? It's a 4-point Rockets lead with 42 seconds in the period.
Now we're starting to see the Sonics in more of their style defensive basketball.
You could see that was going to go down as soon as it left the hand of Clyde Drexler. 32-25 Houston. Drexler has 10, the first for either team to be in double digits. Barkley playing Perkins, stripped him as he tried to drive. 4-on-2. Kevin Willis. Threet to Ellie. Barkley calling for it. 12 seconds. 10. Shot clock off.
He'll shoot this shot. He'll back off and shoot this 3. Guaranteed.
And make it. How many times have we seen that? Over a 7-footer. Rockets 6 out of 9 from beyond the arc, and they take a 10-point lead to close out the first period to the cheers of the sellout crowd at the Summit in Houston. Clinic time with Chuck Daly from the Summit in Houston. Chuck, you say we'll be seeing a great deal of this play as this game goes on.
We will. Here's Drexler in the low post, and this basketball in the 90s. Ball is thrown into Drexler. He'll take it out on the dribble, hold it, keep coming, and hold it right there. Watch the double team. Now let's see what happens. He says, I'll throw it out of the double team. Here it comes. Swing, swing, swing. Hold it right there. Yeah, it's too late. He's got the 3.
Too far to go. McIlvaine into the ball game for Seattle as Payton drives and scores. McIlvaine, the $35 million free agent signing who replaced Irvin Johnson at the center position, played only 8 minutes in the entire series against Phoenix because of what they call small ball. Well, this is kind of small ball too because of the rotations. Now 7 of 10 from beyond the arc for the Houston Rockets. They're shooting more than 60% in regular field goal attempts, and that's the 3rd LA triple.
Well, frankly, you don't want to stay home, but you're going to have to really think about it. Watch this. Here comes Kevin Willis off the ball, gets the block. But it's a problem. You're going to have to make some tougher decisions about playing straight up. That's why people have beaten the Houston Rockets.
Shot clock to 6. Payton in the paint, lost the handle. Ellie has Barkley. 40-27, Rockets by 13. On April 13th, the last time these two teams played here in the Summit, the Rockets had a lead at one time in the game of 44 points over the Sonics, and Charles Barkley said they'd gone soft and called Seattle a wimpy team.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. You're watching a single playoff game tonight, but the rest of the week we are double dipping. Tomorrow night, Michael and the Bulls hosting the Hawks, game 1, followed by the Lakers and Jazz. On Wednesday, New York and Miami tip it off, followed by Seattle and Houston. Thursday, Hawks and Bulls again, followed by Utah and the Lakers. And Friday, the Knicks and the Miami Heat, followed by Houston and Seattle. We got a week for you. Let's get back to the Summit, guys.
Yeah, I think I'll be watching on the days off. 40-27. Houston with 10:50 remaining in the first half, and the Rockets have been raining threes. They've hit 7 already on an 11-2 run with Olajuwon on the bench. The man they added, Kevin Willis, just to provide power against the Sonics team. They signed him as a free agent at the beginning of the year, committed that foul, and he's committed 2. So Olajuwon on the bench with 2, and now Kevin Willis with 2.
The interesting part, he commits it against McIlvaine, who has come into the game.
McIlvaine sets a moving pick on Eddie Johnson, who had just come in. And Reggie Theus on the sidelines. What do you have for us?
Bob, I had my nose in the Seattle's bench, and George Karl was just irate during that timeout. He says, I don't care about the post right now. Stop those guys from shooting 3-pointers. For the next 5 minutes, we're going to play these guys straight up, and don't worry about not scoring points. We're going to score enough points. You guys just don't start feeling sorry for yourselves and worrying about the game. Just worry about playing ball. Guys?
Yeah, Reggie, sounded like you were saying it. That's good. Well, we got the idea there. Here is Drexler penetrating, kicking out. Barkley thinking about and taking the 3, but not hitting it this time. Greg Graham gets the rebound. Chuck, you postulated that one way to play Houston might be to double team them less just to keep away from them.
Well, you're going to have to really think about it with the great outside shooting that they have. I remember New York, who came within, I thought, a basket of beating them several years ago, and they played pretty much straight up. It's a tough decision for a coaching staff to make, but with this club, with the way they shoot threes, it might be better to give the big guy his numbers.
10 on the shot clock. Perkins got that last Seattle basket, and McIlvaine called for a quick foul.
Houston already with 12 assists and only 2 turnovers. Very methodical, very, very capable in terms of executing their offense and doing all the right things. Rested, ready to play mentally and physically.
Wingate and Graham sit down. Hawkins and Schrempf are back in the ball game with McIlvain and Perkins inside. Elijah Wan. Easy pickings for Akeem, and he has 10. Akeem's 5 out of 6. Looking to post up Perkins, a 7-footer against the 6'5". Generously, Charles Barkley. 10 on the clock. Perkins finger roll. Eddie Johnson. Another free agent signee. Used to play at Seattle. This year he was at Indiana and in Denver. And now here. And that was Sedale 3 for a 2.
And Rudy able to go to his bench early, give him a rest. They've got a good read. They're in a good mode, good rhythm.
Schrempf will take that 3 and make it. Just a set shot from Detlef Schrempf, who's averaging 17.5 points a game in the playoffs. 12-point Rockets lead, 8:50 to go first half. Here it is again. Double team got there late, and the team thought about it. Johnson is fouled before he drives. When we talk about Sedale 3, here is the veteran. He's played for a lot of clubs.
Here he takes it deep into the corner, dribbles it back out, elevates a very difficult shot at long range.
Speaking of veterans,
Rudy loves veteran players, and he loves CBA players. Done a good job. Carol Dawson does the general manager job. Said he's really, Bob Weinhardt did it a year ago, but Rudy calls the shots, knows what he likes, and he likes veterans who have good maturity.
Drexler's going to sit down. Ellie comes back into the ball game. Well, those 3 are the completion of the 8-man rotation. 3, Johnson and Willis off the bench. All 3 agents. From the baseline, a team missing this time. Loose ball foul is going to be on Seattle. It's going to be on Gary Payton. His first.
They get the miss, and then they get kind of a touch foul from behind. And got to be unhappy about that, because when you get this club to miss the way they've been shooting all night.
12-point Rockets lead. Smooth running machine. Kemp with a nice play, stripping it free from Kevin Willis. Houston shooting 62%. The turnover comes to Ellie. To Johnson. Left hand, Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson from Illinois way back in '81. He came here through Denver from Indiana. Illegal defense called against the Houston Rockets.
And they'll take that because they need some effort defensively down there.
That was the first. It's a 14-point Rockets lead. Cummings left alone for 15 feet.
No second shots. Absolutely none.
Sedale 3. Trying to take Hawkins off the dribble. Willis.
And the Houston Rockets just having their own way offensively, doing about anything they want to do. Getting stops and running, moving the ball crisply, getting the post up, getting the double team, hitting the 3. Rockets basketball. And basketball of the 90s in the NBA.
See that pass coming from Elijah Wan out to Eddie Johnson, who got it down low on the weak side to Kevin Willis. There's where you get burned. If you double on the strong side, by the time he gets back, it could be down to Willis or Barkley on the weak side.
And that's problems because if they don't score from there, they go to the offensive board because they're excellent rebounders.
Houston ball leading 48-32. That's the 7th Sonics turnover with 7:14 to go in the half. And into the game for the first time, Eric Snow, as George Karl is trying to find some combination to show him a little intensity here. Remember, the Sonics team had to play Phoenix on Saturday. It was the best out of 5 in that series. So they only had basically 1.5 days to get ready.
Ray Johnson has struggled in the series with Minneapolis. And here's a 20. You know the interesting part, Bob, both clubs finished 57 and 25. That's where that one extra win would have got them home court advantage.
It's a 20-second timeout. Houston still shooting 64%, and now they've decided to call the full timeout with an 18-point Houston lead.
There, see it?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Summit in Houston. Houston up by 18 points.
Here's one of the reasons why. Move forward. Watch. This is classic. Watch it. Hold it right there. Double team right there on Elijah1. He kicks it out underhand, cross court, which is unusual. They dump it down to Willis. Either he or Barkley are there, and they're going to get some offense. If nothing else, a second shot from rebounding.
How about this for team basketball? Houston with 16 assists, only 2 turnovers, and the Rockets already have 3 players in double figures.
Well, the Rockets are playing almost a perfect game, completely under control, and the Sonics are going to have to figure out a way, either in the rest of this game or between games by Wednesday, to do something differently.
Eric Snow, usually not a part of the rotation in the playoffs, Cummings has a block, and then Kemp loses it. Another fast break. Eddie Johnson feeds Willis. Elijah1 gets the loose ball, the foul before the shot.
And the Rockets much quicker off the floor, quicker to the basketball. 2-second shots there, picking up on the opposite end. A tough shot by Kemp, took it right to the defense. Both were blocked, which he does frequently, and allows the Rockets to run.
And the personal on Eric Snow, Reggie Theus.
Hey, Bob, really interesting in the huddle of the Houston Rockets. Charles Barkley is talking to the players, giving them lots of encouragement. And Rudy T steps in and says, hey, guys, listen, on turnovers or break, I want you to bust your behinds back and don't give them Shinola in this game. We want to bury them. Guys.
Thanks, Reggie. 6:38 to go in the first half. Nice edit job. 20-point lead for Houston now. Houston's only free throw prior to that was Ellie, who took the technical.
Bearing
on the rim.
Yeah, Bearing can work both ways. It can really incense the other club, or it could put fear in it.
Eric Snow, the Michigan State second-year man, hits a triple. Eric in the playoffs, 3 points a game. He's not even had any rebounds or assists and played only 2 minutes.
Well, you hit on it, Bob. The Sonics are going to have to try to find some chemistry, some people. They're going to move it around.
The diagonal pass comes out to Ellie from Elijah1. And Ellie has 4 triples with just under 6 minutes to go in the first half.
You're going to have a team that can stay home and do a job on Akeem. If you're going to double and swing the ball, they're going to do this almost all night.
Terry Cummings showing a little bit of life in those aging legs. He's free agent signed by Seattle, and thank goodness they signed him. He really has been able to help as he adds a little quickness and toughness inside despite his 6'9" stature. 55-37, the Sonics get a run here. That's 2 consecutive baskets for Seattle, and it pulls them to within 16 with 5:21 to go in the first half. Payton remains on the bench. He'll be back in shortly, however. Willis playing Elijah1. Yeah, he was on Elijah1's side of the floor. Kemp running out quickly. A little relaxation here for Houston, and 3 easy baskets in a row for the Seattle Sonics.
Well, transition defense is one of their problems, and Rudy T doesn't like what he's seeing. He said, I'm going to take a timeout. We're going to talk this over. I don't want to let this one get away.
So timeout goes to the Houston Rockets here, leading by 16, just under 5 minutes to go in the first half. 16-point lead for Houston. Sean Kemp has 10 points, but you'll notice some interesting things here. 1, he's not been double-teamed. 2, has not been to the line yet. This is a man averaging 10 free throw attempts a game in the playoffs.
He's not going to be enough at that pace. They're going to have to give him. It's going to have to be done on the defensive end, not on the offensive end. They've got to get some stops and get the Houston Rockets out of some kind of rhythm that they're in.
Elijah1, there's the double team. Looking to swing. 10 on the shot clock. Freak's going to take the trip. Everybody feeling it. Freak gets his first 3 of the game. Houston is now 9 of 13 beyond the arc. They lead by 19. Kemp down inside, surrounded by 3 white jersey Rockets.
Keyword was surrounded. He will not have an easy time getting any kind of a shot. Anytime he gets the ball in there, they're going to see single, double, or triple coverage. They'll take their chances on the outside shot.
Sedale 3 picked up his first personal. 19-point Rockets lead. That's foul on Eddie Johnson away from the ball, his first. Trying to maintain position on Detlef Shrimp over there on the right side of the free throw line. Payton inbounds to Kemp. Payton has 9 points in the game. Just 2 in this quarter. On the bench a lot. Hawkins avoids the run out. Then makes the nice pass into Sean Kemp.
Sean loves to take the ball to the defense and sometimes gets in trouble. Previous trip had one blocked, but this time enough contact and enough room to get it up.
Percy Hawkins defending Sedale 3. Hawkins played some pretty good defense on that 4 on the floor guard offense of Phoenix. In that first round, here's Willis. He gets the double team. Eddie Johnson's the open man. Rebound Sean.
Well, that's what Seattle can hope for. The double team, but get...
There's a transition defense.
Exactly. If they can get stops, they can get back in this game because the Houston Rockets are not a good transition defensive team.
Shrimp has 9. Big lead like that, as many as 20 points can relax a team. I don't believe it. That's 5 triples for Ellie. He hasn't missed 5 out of 5. Olajuwon to 3. Back to an 18-point lead. Good defense by Terry Cummings. Look at the hustle on the part of Houston. Mario Ellie doing what you see him do every game as Charles comes back in. And just moments away, we'll have the Nike halftime report. 3 minutes, 2 seconds of basketball time. Ernie Johnson, Cheryl Miller, and Stephon Marbury. We'll also have the latest news on Larry Brown and Rick Pitino and zillions of dollars. All the way for the easy lay-in. The Rockets relaxing a little bit, but they're so high-powered offensively, Chuck. They have 63 points here with 2:44 to go in the period.
Yeah, all of a sudden, as you're watching this game, you think the Sonics are coming back by getting a few runs, but they keep making threes, but the Sonics continue to run.
Terry Cummings will take that one from the elbow, and it goes down. And it is now a 14-point Rockets lead. They led by as many as 20.
Well, the Sonics are getting very easy shots. It's not the defense necessarily of the Rockets. It's what they're doing offensively.
How about this consistency?
64% from the field.
12 on the shot clock. And the foul on Kemp is his second personal with 2:13 to go in the half. Cummings will sit down. Perkins comes in. Barkley back in the game with Matt Maloney and Ellie, Olajuwon, and Drexler.
Basic with 2:13 to go, wants to get a starting lineup back in the game, keep them warm as they go into half, and then bring them back starting the third quarter.
Maloney has played 10 minutes in this first half. He had 2 fouls relatively early, spent a lot of time on the bench. How about this assist number, Chuck? Ellie sits down and Eddie Johnson comes in. Houston with 20 assists on their 64 points.
That's close to being enough for a team for 2 games to win.
Look at that same number of free throw attempts as field goal attempts for Charles in the Minnesota playoff series. 64-49 as Barkley rims that one out. 2:08 to go in the first half. Percy Hawkins.
Well, George Karl of Sonics may have to look at this game and say, well, how are we going to play? What are we going to do? I'm going to experiment with some things. But we all know in a game like this, in an NBA game, teams are going to make runs, and the Sonics can get back in this game.
That was plenty of time. Yeah, kick ball, new shot clock. Minute 53 and a half, 15 on that clock. A tough shot down inside for Sean Kemp. And Sean has 14. He's going to get up above his average. Sean Kemp has been averaging 22.2 in the playoffs, average just under 19 for the regular season. Had a streak of 8 games where he scored in single figures. People were wondering whether he was pouting over a contract. There were all kinds of locker room discussions about That would be waved off. 3-second violation. It didn't count anyway. All kinds of discussions about the funk that Shawn Kemp was in. But come playoff time, just as he did last year, he seems to be happy and ready.
It disappeared, and he's performing like the Shawn Kemp that we know about, the all-star. Previous possession, the Seattle Sonics went through that little double team trap. We're going to see more of that.
Kemp battling for the board and scoring 16 for Shawn Kemp, and this is now an 11-point Rockets lead. Payton nearly steals that one. Pressure on Maloney from Hersey Hawkins at half court. Minute to go in the half.
Maloney knows his capabilities, doesn't try to do too much, doesn't try to penetrate, wants to get this club into their offensive set.
Pick set by Olajuwon. The miss from Drexler. A chance to cut that one-time 20-point lead to 9 for the Sonics.
Need a good possession this time.
Trent kicks it. Ooh, nice save by Hawkins. That was almost crossed out of bounds. 8 on the shot clock. Fadeaway, Hersey Hawkins. Look at Kemp's rebound. That's a 14-4 Sonics run, and it is now Rockets by 9.
And the Rockets are looking for a 20-second timeout, but we have to see that again. And here's the quick double team. Get them out of their rhythm. See if they can keep making those shots.
Well, Eddie Johnson missed that time. He's been struggling in all the playoffs in terms of field goal percentage, and it's going to be Sonics ball. There's Kemp. What's the story on Shawn?
Shawn gets this rebound, and you'll see he gets hit from behind. There's that tip. Unbelievable reaching back there. He lets us know in the camera.
Yeah, yes. Kemp, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and one of the better snarls of the season. Rockets by 9, 8 seconds in the period. Pick and roll with Kemp. Oh, almost fell down. Stolen by Barkley, and that's the end of the half. Sonics could not get a shot off, but the Sonics did go on a 14-4 run and cut the 20-point lead to 9. Ellie, notice that 5 out of 5 from beyond the 3-point arc, and it's a 9-point Rockets lead at halftime. Nike halftime report with Ernie Johnson coming right around the corner.
Well, the lead was 20 at one point. Seattle, though, has come back. They're down by 9 to the Houston Rockets. Game 1 of their Western Conference semi here on TNT. In Atlanta, it's time for the Nike halftime report. Along with Cheryl Miller, I'm Ernie Johnson, and our guest tonight, the Minnesota Timberwolves' Stephon Marbury. We'll talk to those guys in just a second. Coaching news tonight. Rick Pitino's name remains front and center as the Celtics look for a new head coach. Pitino told reporters today not to jump the gun on the Boston thing, and that the first order of business was a meeting tomorrow with Kentucky AD C.M. Newton to discuss his Wildcat future.
I think you'll know what I'm saying at Kentucky. I don't know if you'll know if, you have to understand something. A lot has been spoken about detailed discussions with the Boston Celtics. It has not been going on that long, so it's not something that's etched in stone right now. But it's going to happen right away, and we'll put it behind us, whichever way it goes. But we won't drag this out at all.
Well, Larry Brown didn't drag things out either. 5 days after resigning in Indiana, he became the Sixers head coach today. It's a reported 5-year deal worth $25 million and essentially gives Larry Brown complete control in Philly. Meantime, what are you hearing about Larry Bird's situation, Cheryl?
Well, I think Larry Bird is not going to make any type of move until he finds out what Rick Pitino does. A rumor has it that he would like to stay in Boston because he really believes that the dynasty that those two could build could be something special. Plus, I don't think Larry's really convinced that he really wants to take on the grind of coaching.
So Pitino kind of holding the linchpin here and considering what is a reported 10-year, $70 million deal. Wow. Tomorrow night here on TNT, Hawks and Bulls hook up in Game 1 of their Eastern Conference best-of-7. Quick turnaround for the Hawks, who went the full 5 with Detroit, while the Bulls haven't played since last Wednesday.
I think tomorrow we can probably catch them tired, but, you never know what type of shape we're in. We've been off for a few days, so, we may be a little rusty, so it's going to be tough to say right now. I mean, hopefully we can come out and have a lot of energy and be enthused about getting back out on the court.
When the playoffs, come around, everything changes. I mean, we got to go up there. If we play the game of our lives, we can win up there.
Chicago took them 3 out of 4 in the regular season. Stephon, I'm interested to know, as a rookie, what it's like the first time you step on the floor and see 23 wearing a Bulls uniform. What's it like?
You kind of like, you're watching the ball head, you're watching the eyes, the tongue, the number, the sneakiness. I mean, it's exciting. Being able to go out there and play against him is nice, and then when you're able to perform good against him, it's even better.
Was it easier the second time around?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you kind of like forget about the 23 in the ball head, and then you go out and play your game. For me, it was a great experience. I came out, shot the ball well right away, and got off to a good start. You know, his neck was hurting a little bit, so I had to take a little bit of it.
Oh,
his neck was hurting a little bit. Steph, I know a lot of people are waiting to see, you know, when Jordan steps down. Who do you think will be the next heir apparent?
Grant Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
You think Grant could take it to the next level?
I think so. I think he's starting to take it to that level now. It's going to take time, though. Michael Jordan took a lot of time for him to just blast out, whereas he's just totally the best, and he made his team at the ultimate level. Grant Hill, that's his next goal.
I thought you were going to say you. I tried to set you up.
Give him a couple years there. When the Nike halftime report continues, we're going to talk to Steph about his rookie season, going to the playoffs with the Timberwolves, a Rookie of the Year vote. We'll be back. And we welcome you back to the Nike halftime report. What a superb rookie year for our guest tonight, Stephon Marbury, about 16 points, 8 assists per game, 10th in the league in assists, second in the Rookie of the Year balloting to that guy, Allen Iverson of Philadelphia. We welcome you back, and let me ask you, Steph, if you were disappointed with the results of the balloting, that you were second to Iverson.
No, I wasn't disappointed. I just looked at it as a learning experience. I think he deserved it. I think he really showed the NBA what a real good scoring point guard can do. I mean, he just flat out destroyed the league as far as being a rookie. He had a great year, phenomenal year. But I want to take thanks to give to the people who did vote for me, the sports writers. I just want to say thank you, and I feel that it was kind of nice to see him get it.
Tell me about the playoffs, and you lose to Houston, but we see after the game, Charles Barkley's got you and the kid, Kevin Garnett. What was he saying to you after your first playoff appearance?
He was just pretty much saying, just keep our heads up, and pretty much we're going to be where he's at right now in the future.
All right, so you told me before that, you know, your body wore down, your rookie season and everything. What will you say to a lot of the guys coming out of high school into the league?
It's a big difference. It's a big jump. I mean, it's a lot of traveling, different hotel rooms every night. You don't even know. Sometimes you don't even know the day. I mean, that's how you live. I mean.
Well, that's why you have that Rolex on, you know, to tell you what time of day it is, right?
You get the watch plug in there. Steph, it's been great having you in here tonight, and you had a great year. Thanks a lot for being here. We'll be back to put the finishing touch on the Nike halftime report in just a minute. Guess who's having a great first half? The Junkyard Dog, Mario Ellie. He's at 5 out of 5 threes. He's got 18 points. We'll be back.
Welcome back to the Western playoffs. Told you these two teams are the top two scoring teams in the NBA in the playoffs. Seattle at 112, Houston at 111. And look at this halftime score, 64-55. And Chuck, if you look at these numbers, Seattle shot 57%, trailed by 9, but the Rockets 61% and 10 of 15 from beyond the arc.
And normally Seattle only gives up 93 a game, but they've given up 64 at half. And George Karl's exactly right. They're going to have to figure out something defensively or hope that the Houston Rockets cool off from the three-point line.
You know, Reggie said at the beginning of the game it may be a case of the resting involved. Was it too much for Houston, too little for the Sonics? Well, it looks like just right for Houston and too little for the Sonics. There are the numbers, 3 for 9. You see only 9 three-point attempts for the Sonics in the first half. And the leading scorer, 5 out of 5, is Ellie from beyond the arc. And we'll come back in just a moment and look at the second half of this ball game. But moments ago, Reggie Theus talked with George Karl.
Coach, a little bit of a slow start. Into the second quarter, you got a 14-4 run. You're still down by 9. What are you going to do to adjust to it?
Well, I think we're fortunate right now. The way they've shot the ball from the three-point line, we don't have a lot of zip on our rotation, and they're making shots. And I think we just got to make some adjustments and get more defensive energy in the game, and hopefully figure out something to do. Give Akeem and Barkley double teams with covering the three-point shot.
All right. Thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Reggie. And, you know, as you look at the numbers on Hakeem in the regular season, because of the Seattle double team, only averaged about 12.5 points a game. He's got 12 here already.
Well, that's what you have to give up. If you're going to double team he and Barkley and Drexler, then you've really got to work outside. But the way they spot up, Maloney and Ellie in particular can really dagger you with those three-point shots. So, you know, decisions making. I thought when they went to the double team down court, made them move the ball, didn't let them get into the set, weren't as comfortable, and may have helped. And I think we could see more of this as the series goes on.
You saw Gary Payton in the regular season average 7+ assists a game, 9 assists in the games against Phoenix to advance to the second round, and none in the first half here for Seattle. But the Rockets lead it by 9, and a turnover for Seattle early. Maloney all the way out of the break, and he has 5.
And that's one thing George Karl did not want to happen on the first possession. He wanted to get at least a good shot. He got a turnover.
Just opening moments of the third quarter from the Summit. Crouch is now filing back in. 2 consecutive turnovers. Kemp loses it this time. Barkley handling. He had that look in his eye.
Most of the time, that means he's going to go get a shot, and he may end up with it anyway.
He did. It's knocked out of bounds with 9 on the shot clock. It'll be Houston ball. Here's the defense with Barkley on Kemp down at the other end of the floor.
There's Kemp working in the post area. Charles using his forearm. He just reaches in and takes it away. Just flicks it away, partially with his left hand, and then sweeps it away with the right hand.
3 seconds to shoot for Barkley. And 1. Well, we said when there were 22 seconds left on this shot clock, Charles had the look. He gets it all the way down to 2 seconds and does end up taking the shot.
Here is a really tough shot. He splits the double team and physically knocks it in off the glass. You know, he could play at least 2 or 3 more years here. With this particular group, he doesn't have to play as hard. He isn't the whole show. He doesn't have to score 25 points and get 15 rebounds. He kind of picks his spots so he can drift through a game with a lot less minutes and effort.
Missing that free throw. Shrimp picked up the personal, his second. 4 Houston players in double figures now. 68-55 Rockets, 10:55 to go. Third period, along with Reggie Theus chucked in. And this is Bob Neal from the Summit. Opening game, the Western Conference semifinals. Drexler.
And that time, Hersey Hawkins just took a very, very tough shot going left off the dribble.
Barkley. 3. Charles has 2 triples. George Karl with a disgusted timeout early here. 71-55. Houston 11 of 16 from beyond the arc.
NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Dutch Boy Paints. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy. And by Fila. Change the game.
Houston has scored 7 points in the first minute and a half of this third quarter. And that's why George Karl got the quick timeout. Payton being defended by Ellie. Ellie, good defender. He may be somebody who does have a chance to defend Payton. Cummings with the ball fake and missed the lay-in. Oh, baby.
They got what they wanted. They went to the double team on Kemp, wide open. And the Chuckster's going to take another one. He's feeling that 3. And the Sonics may be happy about that before the night's over.
Yeah, you can sure die by them. Although the Sonics don't usually. Payton gets it out to Detlef Shrimp. Cummings kept it alive. Barkley took the ball with those lightning hands. Speaking of lightning, there's the glove. Oh! To Kemp. Lean in. Wanted to foul. Didn't come.
He really takes it up strong right in your face. But the strength, he bangs it and then takes it another elevator, another story high, and scores it.
This is kind of a news flash. That was Gary Payton's first assist in this game. Ellie 5 of 5 from 3. Thought about it there. Down to Elijah Wan. This on his baseline favorite. Kemp to Payton. Shrimp's left alone. Finds inside. Cummings, who's missed 2 lay-ins in a row. big ones, too.
This is a predictable situation for the Sonics. Not necessarily that particular play, but the fact that you play a 5-game series, you've got a one-day turnaround, you come down, and you're in trouble thinking, well, we'll steal the second game.
Chevy scoreboard is a preview of tomorrow's games, the Atlanta-Chicago series at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on TNT, and Game 2 in the Lakers-Utah. Utah tussled the Lakers up pretty good in Game 1 yesterday. Inside the NBA virtual bench, we'll be joined by Charming Cheryl.
Alliteration of sorts.
It'd be better if I said Charming Cheryl, but she wouldn't like that. Clyde Drexler with 11 tonight, 5 assists. Told you that Drexler's the leading assist man, despite Maloney being the point guard on this club. 16-point Rockets lead, 8:59 to go, third period.
George Karl, a veteran coach, they'll keep looking at this game, trying to search ways to try to score.
The handoff to Payton from Kemp, and he blows the lay-in. That's 3 missed opportunities from 6 inches away this period. Drexler. Clyde has 3 triples and 15 in the game. 19-point Rockets advantage.
Well, in a playoff game of this magnitude, you've got to be offensively efficient like that. You've got to make the easier shots. You can't give a team like the Rockets these kind of opportunities and expect to stay in the game.
Detlef Schrempf got the triple here, pulled the Sonics to within 16 once again. They were down by 9 at the half. Barkley left alone. He missed the little short gimme. Here comes Kemp. Look at this big man handle in the open floor to Hersey Hawkins. Hawkins has that shot, a little flat, maybe tired legs. Hersey's 0 for 4 from the field in this game. I think he's one of the keys whether or not he can hit those perimeter shots. Drexler's going to take another triple. He as well since they're falling.
Yeah, they're starting to get a few misses, and if they're not capitalizing, Sonics aren't on the other end. They'll go to the 2-man game, Payton and Kemp, see if they can make something happen between these 2 guys.
Here's pick and roll. And on the switch, the foul. Here's the missed layup. This is at least 3 missed layups for the Sonics in this half.
Well, he had Mr. R2G1 standing there. You can miss that. Here's the kick out to Drexler, long range 3. Last play, Payton went to the basket, drew a foul. Barkley held him up. Nice play by Barkley.
Look at the nice play by Drexler. Schrempf had backed in Drexler, and Clyde just slapped it away very cleanly to Barkley, surrounded by 3 Sonics. He'll take it back out. 7:03 to go in the third. Rockets by 16.
The Rockets not having to make any difficult plays. Simple movement of the ball, going to the post, kicking it out, patient, getting the good shot.
That's the third on Sean Kemp. 6:55 to go in the third quarter. If you joined us late, you may not have heard this statistic. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Houston has never beaten Seattle in a playoff series. 5 times Seattle has eliminated Houston. And the 2 years that Houston won the championship, that here in Houston they call it the asterisk championships. The first year in '94, Michael Jordan was playing baseball. Second year in '95, Jordan was back but not ready to play, they said. So those are asterisks. And the other is, those are the 2 years that the Sonics got knocked out in the earlier rounds.
Well, the Sonics want to take the asterisk away this year.
Payton missed another lay-in.
George Karl just smiles, knowing, hey, it may be one of those nights where we can't do anything about it with the emotion we expected in the game against the Phoenix Suns.
Kemp went for the steal, and it is now a 19-point Rockets edge with 6:26 to go in the period. Biggest lead of the game was 20 points. Payton all the way. Wave off the basket, though. He was fouled before the shot.
They forced Payton, they forced baseline wide open. You'll rarely see him miss that. On the other end, R2G1 gets top-sided, which allows him going easy to the basket with no weak side help.
discussion here with our officials on just exactly what that call was, whether it was traveling, a foul.
They want a continuation. Peyton wanted continuation on the play, and there's a little disagreement here. Let's see what happens.
There's the foul. They're going to count the basket after discussion. That was good representation there in front of the court. Steve Javi, Bennett Salvador, and Ron Aloziak are the judges. So Peyton has a three-point opportunity.
You watch Rudy T talk to Steve Javi. He never does it in a manner to irritate, which in the long run will benefit the coach. The guy that gets irritating is the guy that will get the mad call, so to speak. He doesn't get that.
Matt Maloney, he's going to take the three. Not this time. He has made many shot opportunities, but not needed them. Perkins with a block over the back of Drexler, and the foul is going to be on Houston, and that will be 3 on Olajuwon.
Well, right now, the Houston Rockets are starting to miss shots, an occasional turnover, and giving the Sonics a little bit of a chance to get back in here, but the Sonics are not taking advantage of it because they haven't been able to do anything offensively, only scoring 7 points this quarter.
There's Peyton in the paint. Missed 2 layups. Now he missed that one. Looks like a tired player. He'll say he's not, but he looks tired. Remember, they finished up, Sonics did, by winning Game 5 against Phoenix on Saturday in Seattle. About a 4-hour flight down here to Houston on Sunday. Maloney. His second triple of the game, and it's back to a 20-point lead.
Maloney, an Ivy Leaguer out of Penn. His father, a coach at Temple under John Chaney.
Peyton working. Shrimp left alone. And gets the bucket. Olajuwon got there a little late. Cuts it back to 18. 5 minutes in the period. Look at that. Leaking out is Drexler.
And Barkley, both hands overhead. Touchdown.
4:52 to go in the period. Last year, Seattle knocked Houston out of the playoffs in a 4-game sweep. Kemp rolls underneath Drexler. They both go down. They're both okay. And that is now 4 personals on Sean Kemp.
Well, it'll be interesting. George Karl's going to substitute for him. He's going to play it out accordingly. Bring in Terry Cummings.
And Wingate's going to get in the game, too. Despite all the fouls, Kemp does have 20 points in this game.
No, Sean Kemp can't be faulted. He's played very, very hard and been very effective. Much more effective than all of his teammates practically combined.
You see that he often gets in foul trouble with 11 disqualifications this year. And that's a Houston turnover. Kemp will rest. Cummings is in, along with Wingate, Perkins, and Shrimp. Go with Peyton. Houston has all their starters on the floor, save for Olajuwon. Willis is in for him, and defending Sam Perkins. We've got a hold on Kevin Willis. Perkins only listed as 6'9", but with his long arms, he plays more like a 7-footer.
When you go to an offense where you post up, it makes it easy for the Rockets. If you move them offensively, I don't think they're nearly as effective offensively.
Illegal defense against the Rockets. And it'll be a technical and a free throw. The way things have gone, nobody wants to shoot it for the Sonics. Look at Rudy Tomjanovich. There's his career playoff series. Told you the only 2 times they've lost series during his coaching reign have been to the Seattle Sonics.
And Charles called a mini huddle there, a mini huddle, and probably talked about, hey, let's not get careless here. Let's keep the pressure on.
19-point Rockets lead. David Wingate. Rebound Drexler. Houston scoring. At this pace, Houston will score 127 points in this game. Marty Aronoff just immediately figured that up for me. His computer like mine. Barkley inside for the reverse. And Charles has 15. That's the biggest lead, 21 points
Well, one of the thought process for George Karl say, well, when do we give these guys a rest? But I don't think he's really that concerned about the conditioning. It's more mental than physical.
Barkley with the block on Payton, but then the foul.
I think if we get down into the middle of the last quarter, we may see that. But they're going to continue to try to play. A lot of things can happen in this length of a game.
What a block. 6 foot 4.5 inch Barkley. The foul, by the way, was called on Kevin Willis, which is 4 on Willis. And we're going to get Othello Harrington into the game a little bit early. Othello Harrington is the rookie from Georgetown. They really like the progress this youngster's made under the tutelage of Akeem Olajuwon. 6'9", 235. Othello Harrington.
Doesn't get a lot of stats, but started to play more significant minutes as the season went on, and they'll look to him for the future in the middle.
How about this? 4 former Georgetown centers are still in the playoffs.
Nice stat, Bob.
Just came to me. 3:31 to go in the third period. 20-point Rockets lead. Shrimp on Ellie. 7 on the clock. Ellie blows right by him.
Very methodical. A one-on-one. No rush to the action.
20 points for Ellie in this game. Wingate gets the diagonal pass. To go inside, hit the backboard, everything going awry for the Sonics. Perkins wanted the 3. Punched away by Drexler. 4 on the shot clock. It'll be Sonics ball, but they have 4 seconds to shoot it. Drexler, this is amazing. This is not a teenager you're watching here.
No, this guy's been through it all. A dream teamer, an all-star guard. Look at the hustle for the loose ball.
End of his 14th year, 34 years old, playing like a kid, having a good time. This is the only game tonight. Houston leading 88-66 with 2:59 to go in the third quarter. Tomorrow night, doubleheader as playoff action continues. Hawks, Bulls, Lakers, Jazz. Chuck, Bulls 3-1 against the Hawks in the regular season. Lakers are down 1-0 to the Jazz. What you're thinking about those two series, first Chicago and Atlanta?
Well, the problem there is the same problem that the Sonics have. The fact that they're going to come off one-day rest on a turnaround and try to go in and play the great Chicago Bulls with that kind of an offense. The LA-Utah, they've had a day of rest, and the second game is a game to try to steal. They'll play much better against Utah.
Another Sonics turnover. That's 12. Traveling was the call. And the Rockets up by 22 with 2:53 to go in the third. Snow, Wingate, Cummings, Payton, Perkins on the floor. 3 guards in there. Go to 4, they look like Phoenix. 10 to shoot. Maloney. Drexler. 20 points for Drexler. 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Wingate can't get it. Perkins can't hold on to it. He did punch it away, but Ellie controls it. The last time these two teams played in the regular season here in Houston, April 13th, Houston won by 40 points in that game. That's when Barkley said, this is a soft Seattle team.
Well, they're 24 right now in building because the Sonics just can't get anything going offensively. Can't score layups, turning the ball over. And if you lack efficiency, then this club is pretty much going to have its own way. Too dominant offensively.
Othello Harrington at the free throw line. Chuck, you think that this Houston team has a shot to go all the way? I mean, a legitimate shot.
Yeah, I really do. They don't have an injury. They've got the kind of club with the power inside and the multiple 20 points per game scores that can give a club like a Chicago, I think, a problem.
92-66 Rockets. 2 minutes to go in the third period. Perkins, it's the double team. On the Baseline, Wingate misses. Perkins follows.
Rolled off the back. Kind of an easy one there. But he talked about the Rockets. I think everyone felt that way as they were put together. The question was, how many games would they play, and could they survive enough games to get here? Right now, they look like they're in good shape to be a club that could come out of the West.
Good save by Barkley. Speaking of games, he only played 53, and Barkley stepped out of bounds. And now bounces the ball into the seats, and we'll get a technical from Ron Alesiak. Charles didn't think much of that with 5 on the shot clock. In some ways, maybe he was bailed out. He was going to be having a tough time to get his shot off anyway. Minute 31 to go in the period. Yeah, Barkley played 53 games. Drexler, 62 games. But they both say they're very healthy right now. So that may be a plus instead of a minus, Chuck.
Yeah, and Barkley just walked over to Alesiak, Ron Alesiak, and had something to say. But he deserved the technical. When you bounce it like that high, you deserve to get it, and he knew he was going to get it.
Probably what he told Ron Alesiak, who's now laughing along with.
Yeah, but Barkley's glaring over there. He doesn't like the fact that communication is going on in fun.
No, he doesn't. He'll have something to say about it. He bet on that Wingate. Nowhere to go with it. Perkins has been tough down on the post. Cummings keeps it alive, but it's stolen. The rebound, that is, by Matt Maloney. One touch from Drexler to Othella Harrington, who draws the foul. Harrington, by the way, has only scored in the playoffs coming into this game was 2 free throws, and he just hit 2 minutes ago. Look at his one touch.
One touch inside and looking for a hard, maybe a flagrant foul. Not the case. Harrington earned that trip. Big guys that run get rewarded.
Harrington is not the biggest. He is 6'9", 235. You can see, though, he has really excellent hands and athletic ability. So this is a power forward, center, mobile kind of player of the future for the Rockets. Under a minute to go, third period. 94 to 63. That's right, 94 to 63. Cummings. To 69, make it now 94-71. That's really funny. I started adding that up and thought it was 30, and I noticed that a light bulb is out on the screen. And in somebody's brain. 94-71. That's a little bit better in terms of a close game. Wingate. They got to fix that light bulb. 24 seconds to go in the third period. They can afford it, can't they?
Yeah, they can afford it. Charles and Barkley kind of dismissing the game, going to more three-point shots, feeling the Sonics just can't make up enough time here. We'll see. Stranger things have happened.
Eric Snow missing. Barkley rebounding. Foul on Seattle. I think Charles is a little bored as he dunks the ball twice before he turns it over to Bennett Salvador. And what that means, if he's a little bored, is trouble is brewing of some sort.
He's coming over and getting some powder in his hand. He flipped his over his shoulder. I don't think he's a happy camper tonight. Charles usually has more fun than this. Plus his jersey's out, which is a technical.
Yeah. Let's see if Ron Alesiak, his favorite official of the moment, will point it out to him. 15 points, 8 boards, 3 assists for Charles. Charles in charge. 3 steals. 1 technical. 1 tossed rosin bag. He kind of aimed it a little bit toward the feet of his coach. And like you say, I don't think he was real happy with Rudy on the conversation with Alesiak.
Well, he might have thought they were amused at him, which I think they kind of were. But Charles took it personally.
Gets both of them this time. 5 seconds to go in the period. 96-71. 25-point Rockets lead. Wingate throws up a prayer. That's too late. Wouldn't have counted anyway. Rockets still at 58% from the field, including 13 of 23 from beyond the arc. Drexler doing it all as usual. If he stays in the game long enough, he's headed for a triple-double. We have 12 minutes of basketball left, and the Rockets are up by a big 2-5.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Welcome back to the 1997 NBA playoffs. Downtown Houston. And boy, that's the right word for tonight. It has been downtown. Houston, if you look at the scoring by quarters, Seattle only 16 in that third period. Houston has been raining threes. 13 of 23 in this game tonight from downtown. Wingate knocks it out of bounds with 6 on the clock. There you go with downtown Houston. You see, they averaged 11.7 made in that 3-game series with Minnesota tonight, 13. You know, they got a chance at a playoff record. It's what?
I don't know if they'll get it. It'll depend on who they play down the stretch, what people play right now. They're going to the bench just a hair more.
Well, that's 14.
But there's another one.
6 away from the record. All right, we have something to follow there. 99-71. 11:28 to go in the ball game. Houston came out ready and in charge. Sonics were lethargic from the beginning. Snow with a penetration. 7 on the shot clock. Wingate hits the 3 from the corner.
Crisp ball movement. Getting inside out action and successfully.
Kemp is on the bench. Remember, he had 20 points but 4 fouls. Perkins had a lot of playing time here tonight. 3. Body language wouldn't help that one follow. Payton in his favorite spot down there on the right block. Didn't help him there, though. Somebody punched it away. Maloney came away with it.
You know, the nice thing about Maloney, he never tries to do something he can't do. Although there he turned
like block this shot.
Right.
There's an example.
Exactly.
Reggie Theus.
Hey, Bob. You know, over in the huddle, I had my nose in there, and they were talking about we got to use this time. We got to still play smart. And Coach George Karl said, hey, listen, don't worry about the end of the game. All I want you to do is win this quarter. Chuck, always the coach, huh?
You got to keep coaching. That's your job.
George has a list of things to say when you're down 25-24. One of them would be win this quarter. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to try to keep their head in the game and worry about the next game. This game is going by the boards unless something drastic happens to them offensively, defensively. But he's thinking ahead right now as to what they might be able to do offensively, defensively, but more important, their attitude.
Speaking of attitude, Gary Payton just picked up the technical foul there. Maloney will shoot it. And speaking of this, of course, we have the technical coming here, but Seattle is winning this quarter 5-3.
Let's see what happens. They're still up 1 after that technical.
5-4. Little baseball score. Houston playing the Marlins here at the Astrodome. Speaking of baseball, 176 Houston, 10-11. Maloney, that's 15 3-pointers. 5 from tying the records. Maloney has 4. 103-76.
He's a real problem for your defense because he is truly a three-point shooter. He turns that right toe in, pigeon-toed, and he really can knock down the shot. And there's Kemp working at it, trying to get them back in here.
He's got 26. You know who holds the NBA record for threes in a game? Ironically, Sonics versus Houston last year.
Can you tell me the game?
It was in the playoffs. One of the 4 games they won. In the sweep. And that's 5 on Shawn Kemp.
Shawn Kemp dashed off the floor saying, it couldn't have been me.
It could have. It was. 103-78 Rockets, 9:29 remaining. It is not the night for the Sonics. Time for Dutch Boy in the paint, and the Rockets are controlling the paint as well as the three-point arc tonight, Chuck.
Yeah, they really are. They 5 for 12 and 15 for 26. starting guards, Sonics 16, Rockets 35. And
well,
here
part of that is him.
Yeah, Clyde Drexler. Here he rebounds and gets it started. Stands, spots up for the three, nails that. Working here, Denver Shrimp makes the steal. Leaks out, gets an easy two. Goes after the loose ball on the floor, and then a defensive rebound or an offensive rebound puts it back up. All 5 starters for the Rockets in double figures.
And here comes the Sonics break with Eric Snow. And Drexler has 20 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists, by the way, just to statistically support how well he's played. It's 103-80. Rockets by 23 with 9:09 to go in the game. See if the Sonics have enough energy to make a run here with 9 minutes to go. Well, this is the part of the runs. 3 on 4. Payton. Cummings. Who wants it? Kemp. Everybody passes up. Stolen by the glove. Payton. Missing. Willis rebounding.
Lot of shots on the front rim. You know what that means? Tired legs. They probably played the most difficult team they could have played to come in on a one-day turnaround physically, because they had to run around and chase, and they had 5 very, very tough games.
That's exactly what Gary Payton said. Willis rims out the jumper. 23-point Rockets lead. Houston is led by 28. Seattle did lead 11-8. Led by 3 when they scored 7 straight points early in the ball game. Clock down to 8 minutes. Kemp faked Johnson and went in and drew the foul. Keem Olajuwon just picked up his 4th foul. Balance.
Olajuwon in the first round, 18. Barkley, 18. You can see it. Drexler the lowest at 14. And tonight it's basically the same thing, all in double figures. And when you get this, it's pretty hard to decide where to go defensively. Do you play straight up or do you double? I think they're going to really have to think about going down court a little bit more, trying to get Houston out of their rhythm, the way they come down and set it, punch it inside, outside. I don't think you would allow Houston to do that.
So easy to coach from the table here, as I've been told several times when I've made these comments, but maybe let Olajuwon, so to speak, get his 35 and play the others a little more straight up.
Well, that's been a thought process over the years. In some cases, some people have had some success with it. It's dangerous because he is such a great offensive player, but you're really going to have to think about it the way the Rockets are playing. It's been systematic all year long.
3 on the shot clock. Rebound Kemp. In George Karl's game within a game win this quarter, right now, Sonics 11, Rockets 7. But not going to help much missing those long-range bombs by the center. Freak into the game, along with Maloney at the guards, Olajuwon, Willis, and Eddie Johnson.
Look at Gary Payton work, though. He is such a competitor. He is not going to give up this game no matter what.
Well, the Rockets a little lackadaisical here, but the Sonics can't get much going on the other end to answer. This could cut inside 20. Payton posted against Freak. Whoa. Eric Snow. Oh, they love to hear the air ball chants from the sellout crowd at the Summit.
George Karl going a little smaller here, 3 guards, trying to get something going, but nothing's happening for him offensively.
Kevin Willis, 105-82. Back to a 23-point lead with 6:32 to go.
Talked about it earlier. A tremendous pickup gives you a great low-post offensive game. If any of your guys get in foul trouble and or you have injury, which they did this year, he provided what they needed off the bench.
5 on the shot clock. Hawkins. Cummings gets the rebound. Hersey Hawkins still has not scored in this game. He's 0 for 5. Rockets by 21.
Touched on a nerve there. Hersey Hawkins, a tremendous defensive player, a great offensive player, great scorer for Dick Versace. When he has a good game, this club is dangerous. He almost has to have a big game for this team to win a key game.
Gary Payton backs the Dale 3 down and drew the foul with 5:48 to go. And with the free throws, would have an opportunity to cut the lead down to 19 points. timeout. Houston by 21, 5:48 to go in the game. Immediately following a game. Look at this. That's is that Jimmy Buffett?
That is Jimmy Buffett, and he didn't get into the action. Look at the shoes. Cole Haan probably got them on Worth Avenue by Boz Hoffman, guaranteed.
You know everything.
Not anything about basketball.
Next,
but
the stock market.
You're right.
A little bit. Did you get it, man? A little bit of Margaritaville there. I guess he wishes it was a little bit of Margaritaville. Inside the NBA, coming up right after the game with virtual Vince Cellini and Super Cheryl Miller for all of today's scores and highlights on Inside the NBA. Payton at the line. Chuck, you were making a comment about Gary Payton. No quit in him.
Boy, he has really continued to work defensively. You know, comes off a tough series. He's played all but 2 minutes in this game. Struggled a little bit offensively. We'll see a different Payton in game 2. They'll get some rest tomorrow. They'll get their heads back in this series. I think we're going to see a good game come Wednesday night.
So Barkley on the bench here. He may not be back in the game here unless something happens like a lot more of this. 3-on-2. And Payton lays that one in. It's now an 18-point game with 5:27 to go. Gary has 5 steals tonight to go with his 19 points. Runner-up Defensive Player of the Year to Dikembe Mutombo.
Charles Barkley says he's the best player in the West. Absolutely the best, because he can win it on both sides of the court. Defensively and offensively.
Here he comes again, showing us some game. He's showing us game, and he is game. And that's a triple from Hersey Hawkins, his first points of the game. And the Rockets lead it by 15. 4:55 to go. And yeah, here they come.
Ellie and Drexler.
And Barkley. No rest.
I can tell you what's happening with this club, Houston. Rudy's, they're having a hard time listening to him. Not that it has anything against Rudy, but they've won so many games and so much. They know how good they are, that they don't need him right now or tonight. They will before these playoffs are over.
Yeah, you've talked about that before, about when the players perceive whether they need you or not.
Yeah, I've been there, and the nights they allow you to coach them.
After about 3 or 4 game losing streak often. They call the coach back in sometimes. Here is Elijah Wan. Skip passing to Maloney. He's missed 2 in a row of those now. Eric Snow gets it to Payton. Oh, sweet moves down the middle. But speaking of sweet, Elijah Wan comes from his left side. That's the second block of this game by Akeem. And that would have been a big basket.
Averages over 2 blocks again. One of the great defensive centers in the league. And he doesn't even have to turn it up most nights.
Seattle on a 14-2 run as Charles and Clyde come back into the ball game. That's one way to end the run. And Ellie. Perkins wanted to step back for the 3. Here's McIlvain. He's only played 3 minutes in this game. That's 4 minutes. Raked away by Payton. Jump ball. Perkins, Barkley. But credited to Gary Payton.
And Barkley's going to give him a little WWF and roll over on top of him. the chuckster, the jokester. He has fun.
Well, you had your chance to coach him.
Look at there.
You coached him a little bit. How'd you have a good time?
Yeah, he was incredibly serious. Shook hands before every game, and there was no fooling around on Dream Team.
Talking about the greatest assemblage ever. Dream Team 1. Hersey Hawkins. Bang, 3. He's had 2 in a row now.
Starting to move, a little better rhythm, teeing it up, getting his legs into it.
Rockets by 14. That's the value of having the big lead. Obviously, they can run clock here and coast a little bit. With these players on the floor, you just don't see the Sonics making that kind of run. 3:11 to go. There's the double on Drexler. 6 on the shot clock. Maloney passed up the 3. Takes the 14-footer. Smart move.
What a great addition to this club. I don't know whose ideas or where they found him, but he is perfect for this team.
That's 3 threes in a row for Hawkins. And a foul in the backcourt on Payton. You coached at Penn a long time ago, a long time before Matt Maloney was a student there, but it's very unusual to have a person like him who started all 82 games out of the Ivy League.
Really is, but he, you know, the team they had at Penn that he was on was an outstanding basketball team and went deep into the NCAA.
Time out on the floor, 109-96.
Joining in the virtual studio with my partner this evening is Cheryl Miller. And Cheryl, not only breaking down what's happening in the playoffs this week, but the atmospheric conditions across the country. Let's go to the national map.
Okay, first of all, look at that. Thunder showers, major thunder showers. Not a good sign.
No, I think this low pressure area is going to be affecting us by later in the week. Stay tuned to see what's happening in your part of the country after the game. Let's go back to Bob and Chuck.
You know, I see them on CNN.
Yeah, it's a possible team. Just so she doesn't post him up, he's in trouble. George Karl's game within the game. We talked about it, trying to win the last quarter. It's a romp for the Sonics, 25-13.
Well, he asked for it, he got it. Finger roll from Clyde. 22 points for number 22. 111-96 with 2:22 to go while I'm on that number roll. Hawkins feeling the threes. Ellie's stepping out on him now. I don't know if he's going to get another opportunity. 5 on the shot clock. Graham beat the buzzer. Barkley beat McIlvaine to the ball. I wonder how tired Jim McIlvaine is of hearing that he's the $35 million free agent center who has played only 7 minutes in this game. Olajuwon missing. Perkins rebounding. Well, we talk about Rockets' balance, not only with their starting 5, but really with their 8-man rotation. Hawkins 4 triples.
Where was he earlier?
Good question.
When we needed him.
Rockets by 12 with 1:29 to go.
Fouls on number 13, Eric Snow. That's his third.
Snow with the foul. And it's time to tell you who our Budweiser player of the game is. How about every starter who scored at least 14 points and shot at least 50%, please step forward. It's all 5 of them. I think that's a first. I know it's a first for me. We've had Bud players of the game, but this is the first time we've had quintet.
You know, you'd be surprised that as many starters, Dreckler's out there, Barkley, all of the key guys, Olajuwon. I think really Rudy says we haven't played enough games. We need to keep these people on the floor a little bit longer. Conditioning, game conditions, probably won't get much tomorrow. And then the Chuckster commits an offensive foul. Of course, never admitting to one, and this exactly the same case. The only thing Rudy has to worry about, no injury.
111-99. The box score is going to look a whole lot closer. Finally, Hawkins misses a 3. Ellie rebounds. Then this final score of 111-99. How about this? The Rockets have averaged in the playoffs. Guess how many points per game? 111.
Huge number.
41.8 to go in the game. They may get stuck on that. There's Kemp. Kemp didn't play badly tonight. He ended up with 24 points, but spent a lot of time in the second half of the bench with 5 fouls. And Perkins hits a 3. You see, this is going to look like a real competitive game in the paper tomorrow. But if you think it is, give me a call. Olajuwon fouled by McIlvaine. I wonder what they're saying at the Sonics in the front office about letting Irvin Johnson go, signing this young man, McIlvaine. And he is a young man from Marquette. This is his 3rd year, 7'1", 260.
I guarantee you they're saying all the right things, which is, you know, we've made our decision, and that's the way it is. We just got to find a way to use him and play him. He was one of those players because of statistics and the shot blocking per minute, but he never had an offensive game, and it's going to take some work. Tim Gergerich up there will spend a lot of time with him in the offseason. They've got to develop him into more of an offensive player in order to get him minutes.
Perkins. Drexler with a rebound. 112-102 with 14 seconds to go in the ballgame. And Houston is going to take what will be an easy 1-0 lead Game 2 Wednesday night. Chuck and I will be back here for that game as they watch it tick down. 10-point Houston win, 112 to 102. Houston hoping to get off the playoff schneid. They've never beaten the Seattle Sonics in a playoff series, but they're hoping to this year. Well, Charles was at it again tonight as usual. Barkley had his 19 points and a little bit of excitement with the officials, and he's with Reggie Theus.
All right, Bob, thanks a lot. Charles, man, just a great game all the way around. But, you know, to win it all, you guys are going to have to play well as a team tonight. Mario Elie, 18 points in the first half was just huge for you guys, 5 3-pointers.
Mario played terrific, but I think also the way they play their double-man dream every time, he's going to get a lot of good looks. I think the thing we got to be careful of, we don't want to get in the habit of just shooting threes, but they're not going to go every night like tonight. I was a little disappointed in my condition more than anything. I didn't feel like I was sharp, but, you know, we've been off a long time, and Seattle had a tough series, but this just one of them, you know that.
Oh, yeah, I know. And you guys, at the start of the third quarter, you came out and really got after. What was said at halftime?
Well, it wasn't much was said. I just wanted to come out and be aggressive because Sean Kemp was kicking my butt real good. But that was my fault. I was not in, my shape wasn't good. I felt a little rusty, but he was kicking my butt. And I told him I was going to come out aggressive in the third, and everybody just kind of fell behind that and kept going.
All right, looking ahead to Wednesday, what do you expect to come out? First of all, you got to be on top of your game.
Yeah, but I will be better. I think I need another day of conditioning tomorrow. And it's going to take, I feel like by Saturday, Friday, and Sunday, I have better conditioning. But I don't have to play great every night. I feel like I was solid tonight, wasn't as sharp as I would like to be. They're going to play better Wednesday, but I think we'll play better also.
I can't play much better than this. I'll talk to you later, man. Way to go. All right, Bob, back to you.
Thanks, Reggie. Charles Barkley, he said solid, 19 points, 9 rebounds. I'd call that solid. Chuck and I will be back here to wrap it up for you. 112-102, Houston with the win. Stay with us. We'll be right back to the Summit in Houston.